Good morning. Hi. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. And evening, whatever time of the day it is. How you guys doing? Welcome. My name is John Derek Murphy. You can call me Derek. Today we're going to be on what is the date? 27th, January 27th, 2021. More hands. It's Wednesday. That's the plan. Drawing hands on Wednesday. This is what I'm doing. It's what we've been doing. And I'm enjoying myself, man. These studies I'm just having a good time. Just having a blast doing these. Let's see here. So we did another page full, I guess, of hands and some feet. It's from earlier in the week, and I think I want to draw more. I'm torn whether I want to paint. You know, do any type of painting. I don't know if that's something I really want to work on. If painting is something, yeah, I think the things that I want to work on when it comes to painting is painting. This will probably be after we do a couple more months of studies and stuff. I don't know, we'll see. Is like effects and like abilities, like not necessarily abilities, but like magic. The magic from those abilities or powers or whatever you want to call them. Stuff like that. That's shit that I need to work on painting. Finding ways to get effects to look nice. And I guess we could combine hands and effects together. Maybe we can do that. That could be something we could do to challenge ourselves. Have a couple hand poses, making like a energy ball Kamehameha type of thing, or what do you call them? Benders? Are they just benders? Benders can mean so many different things, I guess now. Elemental benders? What do you call them from Avatar? Does I didn't watch the entire Avatar cartoon growing up, but I did watch a little bit of it. But I can't remember what they used to call them. You know how like there's mutants, got your X-Men, you got your Inhumans, which are Inhumans. I think, aren't they also mutants? Anyways, whatever the fuck they are, I have no idea. Call them Force sensitive or Avatar sensitive. All right. Well, so yeah, like I was saying, I might come back and paint some of these. I kind of want to paint this hand into color. I might not, though, because I really want to think about my time management on some of these studies and thinking about whether or not it's actually beneficial or I don't want to say that it's not, that practicing is you know, whatever I'm practicing isn't going to be beneficial. I think it's still going to help out, but I want to be a little bit more targeted, I guess, a little bit more precise, and trying to see some progression everywhere as I can. I guess maybe not everywhere, but along my priorities, along the lines of my own priorities. What do I want to improve on? You know, I think just general understanding of anatomy. Let's keep improving that. That's something I absolutely love doing and working on. What else do I want to improve? Drawing from imagination, right? Ooh, should we draw hands from imagination? I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Anyways. Okay, so I do have a bunch more anyways. So let's do a couple to warm up, and then maybe we'll just make a decision later on. Do a little bit of circling. Because I like doing just kind of like the line sketches, because it feels like, because I'm drawing a lot of the hands, so there's more. It's funny how numbers, the more of something makes us feel, the way that makes us feel comfortable, right? Higher amounts of something, you assume it's better, I guess, especially if it's something you're creating. Anyways. We did do longer form studies in school, and I'm pretty sure that that's a very common thing in other schools as well. So maybe that's kind of what we'll interpret these other studies today as longer poses. Yeah, I think I'm warmed up a little bit. For that. All right. First one I want to do here. I saw these when I was looking through. I want to show you guys this. Look at this. This is great. This is awesome, actually. The only thing that really sucks is that they're kind of blurry and low res. You know, you don't have the you don't have to worry about the fabric getting in the way of where the hands are. Same with some of these positions. It's just unfortunate that this polyboard.com or whatever it is has low compressed images. At least it seems like they do. 'Cause look how many there are. I gotta be careful though. And it's just like arms and legs and feet. Here, let's take a look at this. Yeah, it's a little bit blurry. But it's great. It's awesome. Legs in motion. Anyways, you showed legs and feet, your band. Not only did you just show legs and feet, but you showed floating legs and feet and floating hands and arms. And that's the most no on Twitch that you can do, I think. No, sorry, my bad. No, it's simply nipples. Just having floating nipples. That's probably the worst thing. So if that site has people wearing green screen suits or whatever, like it looks like they're wearing, they should just cut out 2 little holes. And then take a picture and send that my way, and we'll see if we can do some studies here on Twitch. See what Twitch says. No? Okay, whatever. All right, let's get this photo here. Simple enough. We just go like that. It's just a hand. Just a hand. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm gonna draw this hand here. Actually, before we do that, let's adjust it a little bit. It seems a little bit washed out. Bring some of the value in. There. I can see it now. All right. All right, so first hand. See the palm. See the knuckles lining up like that. I can tell that is going to be, essentially this is the shape, right? That's kind of what you want to go with. You want to open up the bottom for the thumb. And I guess this kind of stems from the ulna, the wrist. Also, just a heads up, there is a small chance, it's probably going to be unlikely today, sorry, it's not going to be likely today that there will be an interruption here in the stream. We are expecting our fridge to arrive this week. I really don't know if it will. COVID reasons, right? Just like it's delaying everything. Everything's kind of behind. We ordered our fridge and our couch. Or is it our couch that's coming today? I don't know. Something's coming today. Sorry. We might get something today. I don't know if it's either our couch or our fridge that we ordered like last year. October, September. I can't remember when it was, but either way, it was a while ago. And it might be delivering. It might be delivering this week. Maybe. So if I have to just like randomly get up, that's most likely why. Alright, okay, so see how high that thumb goes? This is probably where joint is there. Index finger, coming back up. Right, end it there, right around there maybe. Alright, so the middle finger a bit higher. Couch is coming tomorrow? Okay. You got confirmation? I'm assuming that's why? That's pretty sweet. Okay, we are drawing the fingers one at a time, and that's a big no-no. So let's go back. Let's go back to our mitten. That middle finger here. That's gonna be nice though. Oh man. So our upstairs living room is basically just completely vacant. There's really nothing in there. So it'll be nice. It'll be very nice once we have, well, everything of course, but couch for sure. All right. A little bit of overlapping on the ring finger. I think I made the fingers a little bit too sausagey. Okay, just a little bit. Maybe it's the thumb. You know what? Let's flip. Let's take a look. I think that's something that I wasn't doing as much as I should have been doing yesterday, is flipping. Yeah. Yeah, still a little bit thick. All right. Okay, flip it back that way because I feel uncomfortable drawing over my hand. Sorry, looking over top of my hand. Since the reference was on the right side. All right. I don't like that thumb, man. Very weird. All right. Get this down a little bit further. So they're not just straight lines, and I think that's probably why hands are such a pain to draw, since they're so inconsistent. I guess they're consistent from certain angles, right? But still, it's a lot of subtlety. Okay, I'll call that one done. So yeah, I'll do maybe 2 more, and we will maybe start coloring one. And I think the one that I want to color, actually here, you know what? Let's just fucking draw it. Let's draw it, and then we'll start painting it. It's this one. This one right here. So before we do that, though, let's adjust some of the values here. Let's get rid of some washed out white here. More darker values. Kind of like that. How's that? Yeah, I think that'll work. I think there's enough resolution here. Delete that. Probably delete that. Maybe, yeah, maybe up higher. Whatever. Okay. How much room we got? I think we got tons of room. Wow! Don't have that happen. Alright. We get a little bit bigger. Alright, cool. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, so let's get this one right here. I think that's a little bit too far back. Angles, man. Angles are, it's such a tricky thing to see. Something that I find helps is finding a straight line, usually like the edge of your canvas, if you're close to it. That's a good point to kind of see what absolute horizontal is, if that's even a term. You know, on a 0 to 0xy vertical, I don't know. The edge of our canvases in Photoshop are straight lines. So that's where a good kind of 90-degree angle, whatever you want to use it as, help contrast and compare your angles. I feel like I'm speaking a different language today. But that's something I use, and that's something that I always find that kind of helps me. You know, the thing that I would compare it to, and I'm going to use another, I think yesterday I used a couple of vehicular references, because I'm so fluent in how cars operate and engineering of vehicles, that I like to use them as metaphors and comparisons. It's kind of like when you're driving, maybe let's say at night and it's raining, and it's a 2-lane road, a car is coming towards you, kind of the way that their headlights kind of come to your eyes, you're half blind for a little bit as they're coming closer. How I deal with that when I'm feeling like I'm blinded, I usually just look at the edge of the road on my side, you know. So if you're driving on the right side, I would look at the right edge of the road. Here, let's draw a picture, right? So this is us driving here, man, and then you get this guy with his fucking everything, fucking big dick, fucking lights on your side, lights on their side. They got lights coming in their ass. They got lights coming in your ass. So what I normally do, and if it's raining, right? It's like all raining, you can't see, everything's all glaring, it's nighttime. What I usually do is I'll just look like right here. I'll try and look at the edge of the road. This really has nothing to do with what I'm drawing. I'm realizing that now. I guess I really do want to find an excuse to draw vehicles. But that's usually what I do. Percy, what's up, man? Drawing heads instead of feet today? No, we will. We'll be, actually, you know what? I think we'll probably just stay on this one all day. And then maybe do a foot one tomorrow. It really depends on how much time this takes. And how much blathering I do to myself. Okay, so it's mitten. See how far out this index finger goes. Right, so these two fingers are close together. This one's a little bit further away. Oh, that was the middle finger. My bad. And then this is the index finger. A bit of the thumb. And draw through here. Turn this back a bit more. School screwing me over? Is it almost done though? Are you almost out? What is it? No, you're not. You still got a couple more months at the very least, right? Even if you get out in May. Which I think that's usually when here universities and colleges get out. I think end of May, early June. And I think some universities can get out April here in Canada. I don't know when schools get out in the rest of the world. You're in high school though, yeah. So for my high school, it ran September, the beginning of September is the beginning of the school year, and then it goes through winter, obviously, and back around to, is it June? Yeah, I think June's when we got out, when I was in high school. Which gave us about like half a week of summer, and then we were right back to school. Yeah, post-secondary, that is one thing that I'm so happy that you're responsible for your own attendance, right? It's university and college aren't, well, I guess they can be to some if you want to waste your money on it, but they aren't daycares, right? Which is essentially what elementary school, middle school, or junior high and high school are. And you probably know this, right, Percy? It's just you're just like, I'm here because I have to be. You know what I mean? But you get through it. You get through it, and then once you're out of there, you can decide whether you want to skip a class. Hopefully it's, you know, it's a boring one, I guess. But you don't want to be wasting too much of your time and money after high school, though, right? You know, I wasn't a perfect student. My attendance wasn't perfect. But I did try and get the most out of my time there, I think. Maybe not. I could have worked a little bit. I could have worked a little bit harder. But I think, for me personally, and this might happen to a lot of other people, you lose steam, especially if you're realizing that you're in the wrong industry. So about like halfway through my second year, which is the first year of animation, I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. But I was hanging out with some cool people in my class. They were fucking awesome. They were very inspirational, which is, I guess that's another of the few things that are good about art school, is that you could be paired up with some fucking awesome people in your class, and learning and growing together is I think a better dynamic than on your own. Simply because you have more brains, right? There's more things questioning things. However, that's if you're lucky. I like to consider that my year was very lucky, and pretty much everybody that I graduated with was an awesome fucking person and fun to be around. Anybody that I graduated with, I would gladly work with professionally too. And I don't think that's a common. It might be a common thing. If there's anybody here who has gone to, I guess this is specifically for like art related industries, but it probably isn't exclusive to it. How many people here have graduated from a post-secondary school and had just the worst classmates? I'm curious. Because I like I said, I do consider my year to be a special one. I don't know. These knuckles, right? It's these knuckles. I certainly, no offense to anybody from my high school years, but I certainly made some really nice relationships just from that art school and that class. You know, the type of people where as soon as you see them again, you just pick right up where you last left off, right? No matter if it's been 2 months, 2 years, or 2 decades. I guess it's just unfortunate we all live so far apart. We all live across Canada. I guess there's no... It's like I'd be able to see them anyways because of this fun epidemic we're all going through. Wee, epidemic. June for you? Yeah, okay, Percy, yeah. So it's the same as me. No one is ever a perfect student. That's true, as much as they want to convince us otherwise. Which school did I go to? Which art school, I guess I'm assuming? I didn't really go to an art school. I took an animation, a traditional animation course here in Canada at a community college called New Brunswick Community College of Miramichi. Yeah, and that's where I went for 3 years. I wanted to become a traditional animator. So after 3 years of that, graduating, realizing I didn't want to become an animator, because unfortunately, the type of animation I want to do, well, there's not really a lot of jobs for people who are just freshly graduated. There are, however, lots and lots of jobs for people who want to animate using like Toon Boom or Animate or whatever it is that their Flash is called now, or similar looking programs. But that's not what I went to. That's not what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted traditional animation. But in the same way that my interests can change so sudden and so quickly, I kind of fell out of love with animation and fell in love with fantasy art and Magic the Gathering type of stuff, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, that type of art has always been an influence. It's just never been something that I ever thought I'd be able to try and achieve. I still haven't achieved it, but I think I'm within the realm of obtaining it, probably in my lifetime, I hope. We'll see, man. Anyways, was I talking about something? I think I was talking about something. School, yeah. So the school I went to, it's not necessarily a you know, I don't know what they're up to now. I guess is something that I should say. You know, who's over there teaching. If you want to be an animator and you live in New Brunswick, I'd say that's probably the best option for you, but I wouldn't move cross country or international lines or the ocean or wherever you're coming from just to go to that school. My classmates are not perfect either. Yeah, no one. That's when you can grow together as imperfect humans. I guess it's just kind of like that's another day on planet Earth. I had some good classmates and some horrible classmates, but I didn't go to art school. Okay, right. And I mean that's kind of what I would assume would be, you know, the similarities between my experience in art schools or art class and other schools and other courses is that if there's humans involved, there's going to be assholes involved too, right? It's going to be shitheads and all that fun stuff. Whether they're the students or whether they're the teachers. Because believe it or not, teachers can't be assholes, Derek. They're perfect. Some of them absolutely can be just hot garbage is what they could be. It's a waste of time and breath. Whoa! Calm down there, guy on the internet. Calm down. Alright. Let's get this other hand blocked in too. Keep saying. This thumb doesn't feel like it's in the right spot. Okay, blocking this other one. Like that. Palm, wrist, top of the hand. Okay, palm here. Little negative space window up here. We need to lower the wrist a bit. Nice mark right here. I pretty much had the same experience. I'm living in Austria. There's not one school here that teaches traditional animation. Tried to teach it myself, but there's not many jobs. I turned to comics. That's probably the other option that I would have tried to go for, Slothy, as that was, well, it was something I did when I was a kid. Loved coming up with comics and ideas and developing narratives and stories and drawing. And maybe down the road that might be one. I don't think I have any ideas that are thought out enough to begin my own IP. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe you guys can understand where I'm coming from with what I'm about to say, is that I don't feel like if I started a comic right now and I kept working on it for a couple years and then I look back, it's that feeling of seeing your not necessarily your style, but your just skills improve. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that to be part of an IP, you know, because and the reason why I'm even mentioning this is because I still feel like I'm finding my way. You know, I'm like trying to find my artistic identity in a way, right? That's having said that as well. That's not a priority for me. My priority right now is just trying to get better at drawing, you know, improve my draftsmanship and understanding of things, and then apply those learnings to new portfolio images. That's my game plan. I still don't know where I really fit in, but who does, right? Who really does? I think we need to make that a little bigger. Maybe it's fine where it was. Because the thumb is a little bit further out. But we're in the same boat there, Slothy. I can definitely relate to your story. Most of my teachers were decent, thankfully. That's very good to hear, Vegas. At least the ones in the classes that mattered. Good. Sociology teacher was a little full of herself to a point that was rather annoying. Yeah. It's the human aspect of education and being taught that can make or break it. Can make that class or that course or what they're teaching be it'll just capture you entirely. And it could be a subject that you don't give two shits about. You know, I've been in an English class, and a history class, and a science class, and a biology class that had the most boringest of teachers. But maybe a year later or two later, I had a teacher that was actually fantastic and somehow managed to capture your attention. I think that should be a quality that all teachers need. You know what I mean? Now, I would say that they should be in a higher pay grade too at the same time. Maybe all teachers, because holy fuck, relying on humans to teach our next generation. They should you know, live with comfort if that's their career that they're choosing. Anyways, whatever. I can't fix all the problems in the world, even though I just fixed one of them. No, I didn't. I just complained about it. That's completely different than fixing something, Derek. Complaining about something doesn't actually fix it. Surprise, surprise. What was I saying? Going to get pizza, be right back. Percy, is it like cafeteria pizza? Holy shit. Enjoy, man. I think that was like $4.25 when I was in school. Cafeteria pizza. Like a slice of pizza. It was fucking... Shit was expensive then. I imagine it's just like... to take out a mortgage just to buy a slice. But cafeteria food in high school was great. It's great. You get one of those nice giant cookies that the outside is nice and crispy, but the inside's basically just cookie dough. Love it. Love it. Just awful for you, but man. Yeah. North American cafeteria food. I don't know, maybe it's exclusively Canadian, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a company that does it all. From the middle down to about halfway on that finger. Pizza mortgage, is that a thing? and these trying times, I would believe it is. If someone told me, yeah, we wanted to order pizza, so we had to take out a second mortgage on our house. I don't know, is the dough's really expensive? I don't know. Importing pepperonis? I don't know. From Pepperonia? This is way too big? Is that way too big? Yeah, it's way too big. just a banger of a tune, man. Making me feel good and energized. Kind of feels a little bit funky. Totally want to starting webcomic. Have only been drawing for a couple months. Don't ever plan on doing art professionally, as it's too late for me to switch careers. I don't believe that. I don't. It is if you want it to be, Vegas. It is if you're okay with it being that. You know, if you have something else going with your life that you have priorities over, you know, like sustaining a roof over your head, providing for a family, whatever it is, then those are priorities that, yeah, absolutely already exist. So it would be selfish and probably irresponsible to just quit your job and start arting for, you know, for the rest of your life, and not knowing if there's going to be income. But there's people who do that. There's people who do that. Usually they have some type of trust fund or something. You know what I mean? So it's possible. It's just certain things have to. Well, I guess you just have to be very lucky, win the lottery, work overtime, save money, and then quit later on. Hopefully, early retirement, and then focus on art. I don't know. You know, but I don't really think that it's not possible. I mean, you could have like that as your state of mind, be like, oh, I don't think it's really gonna ever go anywhere, but I'm gonna still do it. And I think that that's fine. I think that's a healthy attitude. But I wouldn't completely rule anything out. Again, all it takes is like one set of eyes. If the right pair of eyes see your work, you could be extremely successful overnight. Or not. I don't know. I don't know if that happens. I hope it does. And when I say successful, I don't mean like... I just mean like you're able to provide and earn income through that means, through your creative means. Winning the lottery would be great. Good teachers have some level of entertainment skill because it's been proven many times that you learn better when you have fun. I completely agree. Absolutely. But yeah, teachers don't get paid enough most of the time. That's right. That is right. It's like, I wish we could take the money out of politics and put it into education. You know, get those guys struggling rather than the teachers. I don't know. Whatever. Logic. We throw that out the window. As humans. Get that logic nonsense away from me. Get that rational thinking out of here. Alright, I'm gonna move these fingers back just a little bit off. Like that, maybe? Do you have any good advice on how to transition from drawing line thinking to painting shapes, like how to do your first steps? I think we covered that like last week. And it's to start with just drawing shapes and forms. Here, I'll show you. Let's see here, open recently. I think it was the basics. Was it in this one? To turn these off. Okay. So yeah, we only did this once, the one time. But we did, this is an exercise, I think, on, was it, Box? What is the website called? Sketchbox? I'm trying to find something here. Anyways, we started with a line. Right? And it went like, I think like this. And then the exercise is basically just draw a shape, a three-dimensional shape, traveling along that line. Coming either, you have to pick one end that's coming towards you, and one that's going away. And that's a good exercise. So you can do that with a shoebox-looking cube. You can do that with a cylinder. Don't do it with a sphere, because I think a sphere, from my understandings, it might be just the easiest one to do. But that's one way. What else did we do? We did a still life study, which can help with value and rendering ability. I think that's pretty much all. Yeah, and then we did a little bit of Andrew Loomis, and I can see here. It's doing that thing again. I don't know. I think I have to do them individually, or just rotate maybe, because everything's going like slightly downwards, and that's what happens when you don't draw and flip horizontally. So yeah, that's an exercise that I'd say that you can try. Again, just starts with one line. You just draw any kind of line. Pick which end of the line is closer to you and which end is further away, and then draw a three-dimensional shape traveling along it and rotating. And just try and imagine it's either moving, flying through space. A lot of animators will, when they're animating, make noises with their mouth and kind of fly around themselves too. Having a mirror near you is great too. Maybe not when you're doing a box exercise, unless your face is a box, then by all means, no hate to the box facers out there. Hey, I feel heard. And I think that's probably a good place to leave it. Otherwise, it becomes very overwhelming, slothy. Drawbox, thank you, Vegas. That's what it is, drawbox.com. And check out that website. That website's really good for lessons. It's a bit hard to navigate. I find that the UI is kind of dated, but it's a great site. I'm gonna get some more coffee, and then we'll continue on. We'll probably get ready to start painting this when I get back. So sit tight. Be right back in just about a minute. Coffee and whiskey. Might be a bit early for me to do that. Maybe if I had like a sore throat, had a little hot toddy at 11 in the morning, 5 o'clock summers. Do you have any? Okay, yeah. So I hope that helps, Slothy. What I said earlier. Yeah, other things I need to take care of. Yeah. If you're a dependent, you know, if somebody's dependent on you, rational decision making is probably probably the best on that front. Yeah. From what I researched, even if I got a job quickly, I would still be taking a major pay cut if I switched to art. Right. Yeah. That's an interesting point, Vegas. Is that like if you're already comfortable at a certain pay grade, you know, if you're already in a certain bracket, there would be, and unless there's some type of transitional program that'll, I don't know. It's a very, yeah, it's a real thing that some people would have to take if that's the course of their, they want their life to go, right? I mean, sadly, the entertainment industry isn't as profitable as one would hope. It's mainly for the stars, the directors for movies, you know, and probably CEOs and shit, or for game studios. You know, they take all the cash. They get all that money. Until there's unions in the game industry, or even the which I don't think there ever will be, tabletop card game, I don't think there'll ever be a union, man. It's such a shit industry. I'll say it. It's a shit industry, man. Run by I don't know, dude. Just people who have lots of money that end up getting lots more money. Good system. And then you keep paying the illustrators the same rate as you did 10 years ago. That makes sense. That makes lots of sense. I'll stop myself before I just full on just start complaining about the freelance industry, tabletop games. I imagine it's that way for every other industry as well that requires art assets, like magazines. Has anybody here done any artwork for like a published magazine? Do they like spit in your face as well when it comes to income? I would hope that they don't. I hope that's, you know, the advertisement industry wouldn't be as shit. And if I can remember correctly, I remember having friends have done some published commercial shit in the past, and they said it just pays really well. You know? Like, how do you get into advertising? How do you become an artist that does ads? I guess this is probably why conventions are so important to go to. Thanks, COVID. Which I would love to do that, man. I need to work on, and maybe this would be a good way to test it. Work on my agoraphobia a little bit here, and fucking go to these conventions halfway around the world. Would be nice. Okay, let me grab this. Something like that. Really helpful, but yes, hard to use. UI is dated, and also it's mostly text. Yeah, there's a lot of reading on that on Dropbox.com. Yeah. But I mean, like that's kind of it's an actual like lesson website. It's like a one of your fucking books from school. You know, like you have to read through and to learn some shit, right? The information's there. It's just reading, which I haven't read it. I haven't read all of the site, so, and I don't really think I will. But I'm glad that it's there if I want to. So this still feels strange. Let's flip it and take a look at this hand, the lower hand. Yeah, okay. Here, let's do this. Let's grab our reference here. Sorry, and then just apologize to the reference. Sorry for cutting you. Sorry for lassoing you around the corner and moving you away from it. All right, let's try this. That way, I just don't, you know, it's pretty uncomfortable to have to look over your hand. No, I think that's too low now. Let's get that straightened out. Bend starts a little bit later here in this finger. I didn't miss anything here, right? That's why I originally take the safe route and got into software development. Even the lower percentage can make a good living. I mean, and you're smart for that, dude. If I had a little bit more brain power, I think that's probably what I'd end up doing. As I do love PCs. If I put a little bit more effort into it, I could probably justify either becoming like some type of electrical engineer or programmer. But I would have to learn all the languages or whatever language. What is it, like C++ and other shit? I don't know. What's the popular language for code nowadays? Or has it stayed the same? Or is it the same language, just you're using a different program? See, I guess yeah, I would need I would need to learn a lot. Definitely the fundamentals, or equivalent of the fundamentals for programming. Okay, so this other hand too, we can tweak a little bit. I think I want to raise this up. Control T, change the anchor point by holding down Alt and clicking. Control H to hide, and then just rotate, I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing something else. Let's get this. Hand is big, isn't it, with the fingers? Let's try and fix that. Let's try that. this palm is a little bit too long as well. All right. Catch up with you guys. Pants like shorts but longer. Chandler Bing, classic. Love it. Come up with those kinds of slogans is apparently how to get into advertising. He wasn't an artist though, right? He was like he came up with the advertisements. I think that's literally what you're saying, Vegas. Sorry. Welcome back, Percy. You went outside, saw how much snow there was, and decided I just want to order the pizza. Yeah, do it. Java, really? Okay. I guess it depends on what you're doing. C++, C#, Java, PHP, Python, JavaScript are probably the biggest. I've never heard of PHP and Python. But that doesn't mean I understand the other ones that much more, because I definitely don't. Do mainly Python and JavaScript? Okay. Also do some C# when doing game development. I've dabbled in, as that is what a Unity engine uses, right? So with coding, you can't like mix and match, right? It's kind of like, it depends on, what would it depend on? The engine, the game engine, or what reads the code? What's the thing that reads the code? Hi, Amarelia. Hello. Binura? Binura? I think I'm saying your name maybe half correct. What are you drawing? This is a 22 HD Wacom Cintiq. So it's a drawing display. It still feels like... closer, I think. Okay, all right. Let's block these in. Maybe I'll make them a little bit bigger. And let's go ahead and, I guess, just a lasso tool. Hold down Shift. Use the lasso tool more than once. More than once. Like it's got a cooldown or something? I don't know. Continuously? It's not even continuously. You can add on to your last selection. There we go, Derek. You did it. You explained what you're doing. Poorly, but you did it. Do mainly Python. I hate Java and PHP, but they're both very popular. Interesting. Interesting. The compiler or interpreter, depending on what you're doing in response to what reads the code. Okay, interesting. So it has nothing to do with the engine, like say a game engine. Scribulations. Can every engine essentially be programmed by any other code, like every code? Could you essentially say that you could code any engine using any code language? Does that make sense? So yeah, again, still learning. No idea what I'm talking about. Trying to talk about coding. Because I bet you it feels good. At least I thought it would. That it might. When you're coding and you got your monitor rotated and you're all like programmer mode, you got a bunch of monitors, and of course that's awesome. A great feeling being surrounded by tons of monitors. Hacker Man, and that's basically it. It's just that you feel like Hacker Man's. You're just like, I'm in, even though you're just like programming a door to open or something. I don't know what what kind of basic shit the most basic programming is. I think it's just variables, right? So like, if character walks through door, have this variable trigger. And then you direct the code to that variable, and then that variable happens if that other variable is triggered. I don't know. That's where it gets really confusing. Because me and an old high school friend of mine, we used to program, well, try to, I guess I tried to, RPG Maker back in the day, and come up with our own sprites and animations and stuff like that. In our own comic story that we created, turned it into a game. Thought it was pretty cool. You could do a little bit of coding in there. Not really anything that's like too crazy, I don't think. But like I knew how to create a quest that you needed a certain item to complete it. I wasn't creating that quest by scratch by any means, but it was cool. It was nice. It's very the earliest of experiences that I've ever had to game development. And of course it was anime, and it was an attempt to do a JRPG type of like a Chrono Trigger type looking game. I wonder how insignificant Chrono Trigger would be, or similar games like that. Hear me out. If back in the day we had the same amount of game releases we do every year now, but back then, I wonder how many games would have just been written off essentially, because they just got don't know, overshadowed by a bigger game or another game or lots more games. I guess that's what makes it truly unique, is that there weren't a whole lot of games being made. Right? Like, I remember some weekends going to our local rental store, you know, where you would, that was basically the thing you did on Fridays. You go to Blockbuster, or here in town we had, or in the city near me, we had a store called Midnight Videos. And you can go and rent games, movies, whatever. There'd be weekends where you'd go there and there would be absolutely nothing new. And usually they would buy more of the older popular games and restock those ones so that you could rent them. Yeah, you don't really have that nowadays, right? I do sound like an old man. It'll happen to you too! You just wait. You just wait. And then they say that as well. They say, you just wait, you'll get your turn. And then you're laughing now because you're like, that's forever away. It's never going to happen. A blink of an eye. You'll be old and wishing you had your iPhone rather than the mark of the beast inside your brain or whatever is going to happen. Is this too much for a Wednesday? I don't know. Should calm down. We're just having a good old laugh. Or I am, at least. Okay, something like that. I think we're ready to turn this off. Merge. And hit Control J. Excuse me. Okay. And then we can move the lines up. I guess we kind of need to grab this reference. Control J. Put that on there. Alright, cool. So it's pretty much ready for paint. And that top finger is looking pretty, I wonder if I can fix it. It's like right here. Bring that down. Yeah, do something like that, and then probably bring this one down too. Cool, 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 cool. So I feel like these come out too far. Alright. So, underneath the line layer, let's find our local value. Our local color. Right, very light. Peachy pink kind of color here. Maybe a little bit too bright, so let's add a little bit of gray to this. Just fill it in. Control U, a little bit darker here. And a little bit more orange. Let's start with that. Okay, cool. And then maybe something for the background. That same kind of color. It's actually more of like a gradient, but whatever. Alt backspace to fill that in. Get a new layer, clip it on here. Press G for gradients. And let's get a brighter white. One of these. That completely failed. Just completely. Let's click on that. Make sure we have the right color selected. Brighter. Try again. Failed once more. Why is this not working? Gradient. Do I have the wrong gradient selected? I want the light color to go to transparent color. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Let's go get a... It's a soft round brush. This one that's 1,000 is good. Let's get this like grayish blue at the bottom. Lower the opacity a bit, maybe. Okay. And we'll add a cast shadow on top of that later. Alright. Back of the hands. Sure you're properly encapsulating it. That's how you should look at it, but especially with C#, you can have multiple assemblies in a single project. I don't understand what I'm reading. Python makes up for its weaknesses by being able to easily communicate with C, although I admittedly haven't had to deal with that much, so don't know much about it. Okay, interesting. Midnight Video sounds like prawn. Could be. They did have one of those old, one of the rooms in the back with the curtain, and then like a black light in there. So it was alluring. It had the prawn section, and it was very alluring as a kid to want to go in there. But there's always somebody watching. Not that I knew that there was somebody watching. Yes, I knew. So I was watching them. Anyways. Okay. Is that so messed up? It is. Catch up with you guys. When I was in college, we had a project, and my group came up with a protocol that used SOAP that we called SUDS. We were so proud of that. Did it work on top of SOAP? Is that why? Scribulations? SUDS has not been maintained in ages, from my understanding. The sex curtains, that's it. You know it, Slumbering. Black light to make sure you can see all the gross smudges on the DVD cases. Maybe that's why. That's kind of yuck. That is, yeah, you know what? That's probably what it was. Ugh. But back in the day, you didn't ever, you just took the slip. You took this card that was behind the VHS box, right? Ow. So, like, if a movie was, it's drawing time. It's drawing Derek's Past time. Let's draw Derek's Past. So it had the VHS box, right? And these would be sitting on the shelves, all up and down the rows and stuff. A bunch of them, right? But behind them, they had this like thing that you would take, and it would have like a number on it. And if it didn't have one behind it, then that means you couldn't rent that movie. It was already being rented, right? Yeah, those are the days. And that's probably what was covered with Fun Sauce. These things. Yeah. That's right, Fun Sauce. Seen something else for this hand too. What's Fun Sauce? It's McDonald's new McChicken. You know what I mean? Exactly. Is he gonna be okay? Alright. His fingers are all sorts of different sizes. Alright. That's a blank layer, so now we can get our paint brush. And let's start by adding in some of these midtones, these darker midtones. They're pre-saturated. Let's go with that. Get a little bit of orange in there as well. Right, a little bit more. Just go with that, yeah. Okay, so let's go to here maybe. It doesn't really look like much early on, but obviously with time, as I keep adding more values and colors, we'll get through the ugly phase, hopefully. Is there an ugly phase to coding and programming? You know, like it's just just code's starting to come together, nothing's really working, it's just all. Maybe that's probably, I don't know, maybe there's certain areas that you would chunk in, right? This will be for that, this will be to cover this. None of it works, but it's placeholder. I would imagine that's a thing. Any programmers can confirm or deny? Yes, there is. Or are you answering somebody else, Percy? This one wasn't really a thing back then. This would have been like 2005-ish. When did Jason X come out? Wait, are you talking about a different Jason? Yeah, you're probably talking. You're probably talking about like coding, and I'm like, hey, yeah, Jason X. You know, when he was in space, that was a good, it was a good movie. No, it wasn't. Oh man. CVS. Wait, CVS, that's like your pharmacy, right? That's like a corner store. That's what CVS is, right, Vegas? Huh? This Canadian knows your corner stores. And then there's Walgreens. It's like a Walgreens as well. We don't have these stores in Canada. We have, what do we have? Or at least in New Brunswick, we have Jean Coutu, Shoppers. I think that's it. Pharmaprix. That's mainly like a Quebec thing. good JSON structure easily enough that it's much easier. I was that's so funny. I'm such a fucking idiot. There was ugly coding, I guess probably I believe that, sure. Because I don't know what good coding looks like. Pseudocode, you just type thing that checks the value if it's positive. Look at Slumber and Go. Check the thing. Check the thing if yes, maybe, I don't know. Enter. That's me coding. When my former colleague started to create 10,000 lines HTML that would make any developer cry. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Just unnecessary lines. Just a lot of filler. I'm assuming code can easily have lots of filler. Yeah, I could easily imagine that. Because it could just be like a loophole that just, it goes through all the shit and then just goes back around to the beginning and then that skips ahead. I imagine that's something. Anyways, I don't know. PharmaPlus? Do we have PharmaPlus here? I don't know if we have PharmaPlus in New Brunswick. Maybe we do, but not... None that I've seen. After a few months, we finally were able to get it down to a reasonable length. I had to work with 200k line PHP file that would even crash Vim sometimes. Is Vim like the writing tool that you use, like your Photoshop essentially? Your coding tool for the language? Yeah, I guess it just, I don't have a sense of understanding what that is. You know, what a big PHP code file really means. Oh god. Yeah, I think I need to move this up. I think I need to move like this. That, and then maybe... Oh, we're gonna move everything, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that when we merge things. Okay, so let's get a dark, deep saturated red. Let's go paint right here. Okay, so maybe I could play around with some colors too. Just having everything be saturated in gray. So we can do something like this. Maybe brighten that up a bit. So the nice thing about having everything on its own layer, not only does it make your PSD look busy, but you can go back and adjust things as a whole. Like this skin. Oops. I kind of want that to rotate. Well. A little bit more brown in there. Alright, I'm gonna light in the shadows in the back so it doesn't feel so flat. Maybe that'll give a little bit of dimension, depth. Other D words. Donger? Nope, that's not correct. No, that's not what shadow is. Like that. Good effort, though. This down here. And I think we can probably darken it a little bit. One of those. New layer on top, clip it on. It's darker down here. A little bit of purple. Get a little bit of a lighter blue at the top. Maybe a lighter, let's go over here first. Lighter purple. Emacs equals Photoshop, Vim equals Clip Studio Paint. Cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. Is Vim open sourced? Is that like the one to use because it's probably the most relevant in terms of like where coding's at today? Or does Emacs that? I don't know, it's hard to say. It feels like Clip Studio is like at the same level as Photoshop. It feels like that's where it's at right now. It'd be interesting. It's just interesting to share similar experiences to kind of like a sister industry, which is actually, it's probably more than sister. We're very much connected. More so than family, Derek. I don't know. It's interesting to hear the similarities when it comes to the tools that we use and the things that we struggle with, or the companies struggle with giving us. So we have to go elsewhere, like Clip Studio or a cheaper alternative or a free program. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so floating. How about these floating arms? Hands, guys. Maybe we can do something like that. That feels weird as well. Why did I crop them so weirdly? Anyways. Let's continue on. Vim is command driven, lighter weight. Emacs is a lot more powerful but hard to use. These are command line tools. Generally, you'll use a graphic program for software development called IDE, such as Visual Studio, VS Code, IntelliJ, PHP Storm, etc. There's so much. There's so much to making a game. There's just so much to it, man. It's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Let's do that, I think. No? Yeah, that's too much. Like that. That's crazy, man. Alright. Let's focus up. Got that value, put it on this palm. These fingers too. Yeah, that finger feels really long. Maybe just a little bit more angled up here too. Got that pencil layer that kind of is making everything a little bit muddy. Maybe this will help out. JetBrains tools enjoy their interface. Have the coolest sounding names. VS Code, IntelliJ, Visual Studio, I guess. But you know what? Visual Studio is the first program that I've ever used to program, and honestly, it's probably the only one. But hey, it's what we used in middle school, high school, in our I don't even know what's the generic name for computer class? Just computer class? Is that what it was? No, it was something else. Because they took us through, you know, how to create a button, how to have something happen when you press or click on that button in a Visual Studio. Is that what it was? Yeah. Super exciting stuff. So we need that pink for the fingertip there. It's a little bit darker. What was that? Did you guys hear something? Oh my goodness. It was Zenoil. Thank you so much for the follow. Bruna, Lacona, as well. Thank you so much earlier for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for the follows. We're doing, I guess, a hand portrait study of some sort. This week we have been focusing on hands and feet. Tomorrow we'll do a foot one here. Like we're doing today. But all this week we've been just doing hand studies, feet studies, to hopefully try and draw better hands and feet. As you do when you want to get better at something. You do the thing. So that's why. That's why we're doing it, because we want to get better. Alright. Back to it, I guess. This is kind of like desaturated and gray right in here. A lot more darker. I find it seeing these values that's very, very challenging. Different grays next to saturated colors. Very, very tough. I want that pinky to be a little bit sharper. All right. Yeah, you know what? It was computer science. Scribulations, that's exactly what it was called, computer science. And that's where we were introduced to, well, programming. And like C++ and HTML. Eventually. Big brain shit. Alright. Do that. Let's jump over to the other one as well. Let's start getting in some of these cooler values. Something like that, maybe a little bit lighter. Let me see. Just been using PyCharm for so long. I'm just used to it. I've tried VS Code, a little too annoying. Just ended up getting a full JetBrains subscription. Use all the products. So yeah, that sounds like a, what is that? Like a creative suite, kind of like what Adobe has with their subscription. There. That's probably more of a gray there. Sample that and then make it a little bit darker. All right, let's tint this here. We need more of this orange out here, or whatever color it is. So right here, start changing some of these colors around. All right, yeah, let's add a new layer, turn it into soft light, and let's work on some of these saturation areas. So let's get orange like that, maybe. Nope, too much. Saturate a little bit. A little too much there, but I think we can put it some places. Yeah, you know what? We should probably... I wonder if we should... Yeah, what if we just did that and try to make that work instead? We'll come back to those. All right, hands. Soft light, that's what we were doing. Get this. A little bit of pink. Pink? Yeah, a little purplish. Let's do that. A little bit darker. Alright, let's get a new layer. That pretty saturated. This needs to be angled a little bit more. probably lighter. So let's grab this. No, lighter still. I try to grab most of my values in colors, I guess, from previous existing ones on the painting, and I try to only add what is necessary, of course. Yeah, look how longer this is. I think this hand just needs to be shrunk. Like this right here, this side, compared to over there. Definitely longer. We'll fix that later on. A little bit of like yellowish green, baby puke green ish down here, maybe. More yellow.
It's gonna be hard to do.
True.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
True.
Because what happens?
True. Wise words. Okay. Okay. Darken this.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because what happens?
And let's lighten this up. A half tone. And this comes down. It's like a straight line right here. PyCharm handles Django and Python, as well as it's just like every time every time you talk about it, there's just like a new program added to the list. There's so much. It sounds like it's much more. There's more options available for programmers than digital painters, artists. I guess sounds like, maybe I could be wrong. This is the guy who's only ever used Photoshop. Let's get like a bright, that along the edge of this, and then let's get a bright skin tone. If that'll help pop. In the end, I've learned it's mostly the same once you get used to the hotkeys interface. But that's the worst part, though, and that's the reason why I'm hesitant on switching to what's it called? Flipart Studio. Unity, not Unit. Okay. Lots of developers swear by IntelliJ, PyJam. They do not have. They do have some really nice wizards for generating models, working with frameworks that aren't in VS Code. Yeah, there's just so much to keep track of, and what works and what can communicate to another program, but not that program. But if you imply it and save it out from here, and then import it to that, and then put there's a lot of that, is what it sounds like. And I'm assuming that a lot of that stuff is automated as well. It's probably like an action you can, or a batch thing that you can do to just have everything talk to each other. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't dive into programming. Maybe I shouldn't try, and I'm already overwhelmed. But I guess that's a natural state of mind of someone who's learning, I guess. Like shredding. You know, you're just trying to keep your head above water. Okay. want that. I want a nice bright orange here. Maybe a little bit of red. I'll put this. Let's see. Yes and no. In the end, it's about framework you use. If you're using Unity, for instance, you're using Visual Studio Code or VS Code. Okay, so VS Code is just okay. I think I understand what VS Code is now. Sometimes it's hard to put two and two together in my brain. I don't know. I didn't do the wiring up there, so I don't know what's going on. If you're using Python, it's VS Code or PyCharm. The more options, yes, but most get filtered out based on what you're using. Okay, so this by the limitations of what you're deciding to use. Okay, so then what's the most flexible? What's and it's probably the most expensive, I'm assuming, right? I don't know. I guess to me it sounds like open source would be the way to go. Is that an option? I don't even know if that's an option for people who program. It's probably a matter of just having enough programs and apps and tools that are open source to be able to communicate with each other or share a language. That's probably the most important thing. And if you don't have that, then you might as well use the paid stuff. I don't know. Wizards generating models with their magic, it's great. So what do witches do? Do I go to Hogwarts for programming lessons? Provide templating language so you don't have to hard code HTML. Okay. Ah, I gotcha. Okay, cool. So there's certain templates that you can start with, and then kind of, depending on your own functionality or whatever it is that you're doing, you can adjust accordingly, right? Cool, interesting. Probably the most flexible. VS Code's probably the most flexible, or Eclipse. But that is a beast, okay. Your best choice for. It's free, does it all, but isn't as powerful as some of other more specific IDEs. How common is it for studios to use their own everything? Is Let me see if I understand what I'm even trying to say. Like an in-house program, an in-house code language. I'm probably assuming no, that's not a very common thing. Never? Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That would be even more development time. Just to try and come up with their own code, which is probably why a lot of studios and games use similar engines, right? It's because a lot of the heavy lifting has already been done. We just need to kind of skew certain things to add our own certain je ne sais quoi, our own flavor to that. Listen to me talk about shit I don't understand. I really don't know how any of it works, but it's absolute magic. Turning all the ones and zeros into something pretty on the screen. Get back here. Let's get that into a green. Wait, what am I seeing? Not a green, maybe just like a this color, whatever this is. Paint over top of it. And lighten it up. I don't think that was in the right spot. That would be insane, yeah. Pretty much never unless you're Google. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. As I was saying it, I thought it was cool, but then obviously, you know, it's when it comes to development, time is probably the most important thing. So cutting corners, having shit already coded. That's it, right? That's the way to go. This. Brighten that up a little bit more. Let's get these fingertips too. A little bit of like a dark kind of pinkish purple. I guess I shouldn't say dark, it's very light. I need to make this finger a little bit thicker too, right here. Working with Blazor today, and I'm super annoyed at its existence. And that's a new program I've just heard of now, Said. Blazor. Who comes up with these names? Is it supposed to be like really fast? Is that why it's called Blazor? I don't know. Maybe it's just the name really doesn't matter. My guess is a bunch of old C+ devs got together, got drunk, whined about. Is that the Justin? Is that what the .js? JS long enough that they built their own country that doesn't use it. Are programmers spiteful like that? Are they? Do you have like working in-house? I've never run into anybody that does this, but for example, I've heard stories that there's some artists that don't work good in teams that if they have to pass along a PSD that they've worked on, they'll merge everything. They'll just like not make it easy. You'll have to basically just do shit the hard way. Does that happen? Do you get that? JavaScript. Okay, my bad. My bad. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe programmers don't care. Maybe you guys don't have egos. I don't know. But that's one of the shittiest things. Working with some artists, some artists that pride themselves in a studio setting. It's just so, it just blows me away. I don't know about you guys, but the second that I'm part of a production team, I fucking leave my own thoughts, my own individual thoughts on the project out the door, or at the door rather. That's I don't know. It's not mine. That's kind of how I look at it. It's not necessarily. I can still be attached to a project more so than other projects, but I don't think I fully commit myself to the project on a personal level. It's just something I've never really, I've never gotten that invested. Maybe that's why I'm basically freelance. It's because, Derek, you just don't care. No, I do care. It's just I know it's not. I don't want to invest the emotions into something that's just going to be criticized or what have you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm probably still not even saying it, but that's all. Again, I don't know if any of that makes any sense. Oh, wait. Get this ray. This right in the palm, some of these creases. Dark one right here. It happens. It's the same as art where people, I guess it's humans, right? It's just like, that's just what humans do. A little bit of pride can blind them of teamwork, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Here, let's move this up a bit. Let's move just this side. Up to ish, like that. Oh, you know what's really bad? I really wish I didn't put this on 2 separate layers. I guess it doesn't matter. Here, let's merge this together. Let's get a little bit of a blur on that shadow. And then I would be awesome to get this nice and crisp right here. Once I got decent at jQuery, other stuff started coming out. Then when I thought of trying those, Angular came out. Holy shit, Vegas. Once I got decent at that. So this sounds like it's just part of being a programmer. It's that as shit updates and as time progresses, well, you guys are kind of like at the forefront of experiencing that kind of thing. I don't think we experience it too much. You know, there's not too many new programs that come. They certainly are certain getting made. That sounds really extensive, Vegas. That's crazy, man. It's a web thing, so you were constantly, but you're using new programs, but still using some language that's been around for a very long time, right? Like, how often do you get, or maybe not, maybe that's not the case, because that's what you were saying, Vegas. You still have to relearn everything. No, these are new languages in the same program. That's crazy. Okay, it's the opposite. Oh my god, it's blowing a hole in my mind right now. Because the fundamentals of art stay the same. Can you imagine if the fundamentals of art always changed every like 8 months or 2 years or wherever? And you had to relearn the fundamentals all over again? Hopefully, it's not exactly like that, and there are some similarities that come with the newer languages, or the more... would you call them newer? I don't know, more updated languages for programming? I'm learning a lot here. I appreciate you guys taking the time to explain some of this shit to a dumbass like me. I certainly appreciate it. Like I said earlier, it's something I've always been interested in. I just don't think that I'm equipped with the right type of brain. You know, like, numbers intimidate the fuck out of me. I just kind of shut down as soon as there's any little bit of, like, I don't know, numbers and me, not very good. Not very good. We're not compatible. However, if you slap a nipple on a 3... What? What? Nipples. 3s don't have nipples. Nipples don't have 3s. You do in my world. Okay. Jabba-da, baby-do. I don't like what I just did there. A little bit brighter. Let's see, man. Alright, I think I'm gonna run upstairs, get some more coffee, stretch my legs out a little bit, and then come right back and try and plow through this to some type of finish. Pretty close. We're getting there. Like I said, out of coffee. So hold tight, and I'll be right back. Thank you, Marilia. I appreciate that. We'll be right back in less than a minute. Unmute myself. I think these two fingers are a little too big in that thumb as well, so that's... I think it's time to merge things. Let's do this. Let's put everything in a group there. I think that'll work. Duplicate the group. Make a new layer. Highlight both that new layer and the group. Control E. Everything's merged. And then let's do this. Let's grab... I don't know, maybe we should get all of that. Let's try this. Try this first. Control T. Anchor point right in the center of the palm. Control H to hide. Yeah, I think this needed this. Probably even more. We can do that. Let me get that shadow darker a little bit. Like that. Oh, that's it. Wait a minute. Did I just merge this together? No. Let's do this. Lasso tool, Control J. Lasso tool, delete button. Take that to the hands. There we go. Merge that there. Okay. Come down here. Desaturate this a little bit, make it more of a brown. Add a little bit brighter. Oops. Let's see here. Let me get a new layer made because I just painted on the wrong layer. Control J, go back to the other layer where I didn't want to paint anything, delete it. There we go. Move this to the right layer, merge it down. Okay, cool. Cool. Am I on the wrong layer again? Oh, damn it, I am. Oh, the brain. The brain is a potato. Still on that layer. I'm just gonna merge it. That's it. Let's see. Another layer on top. Turn this to soft light. Let's see what we can do right here. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it here for this study, sketch thing, whatever. Tomorrow we'll start a feet one. Maybe we'll take another look at this tomorrow and push it just a little bit further. My brain's very much quickly becoming pudding. I don't know why. It's pudding. It's turning into pudding. So I don't think I'm going to be painting much longer here. Oh, and look at that. It's we've been streaming for just over 3 hours, so the timing is perfect. Let's see what you guys said here. I'm primarily a designer who does front end when the dev team is uncomfortable with it, so I get a bonus handicap of only checking in with new framework every 6 months or so. Yeah. That's a lot of pressure. It sounds like that would be a lot of pressure, say, unless you're like, you know, you have the skill sets and flexibility to adapt to constant changing and how these programs work, right? I guess that's kind of a requirement for a program to be I guess a certain caliber of programmer, right? Or developer, really. You know, a lot of developers wear so many different hats. Doing so many different things, especially smaller teams, right? Me, myself, I want to be on the front line of painting. Wherever that is, that's where I want to be. Give me my assignment, tell me where to paint and point my stylus, I guess, and off I'll go. Very happy that way. Anyways, but guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We'll do some more feet stuff. We'll do some more feet stuff tomorrow. What is it? Where are we? And I really want to paint this one. This looks like it has a lot of nice value. I could probably punch it up a little bit. But yeah, more feet stuff, more hand stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. So, we're gonna continue on. Yeah, absolutely. Kinky feet, maybe. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No. I have to say no, technically, because I think I'm not allowed to entice you guys for kinky shit. But let me just go ahead and tap my nose a couple times. Does this mean secret? I can't remember what this means. Or do I just have to go like this? I don't know, I can't remember. Whatever. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I certainly appreciate it. We stream Monday through Friday for about 3 hours. If you enjoyed the stream, I encourage you to come on back sometime. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll be painting some feet in the same kind of manner that we painted these hands. What else can I say? That's pretty much it. Oh, hold on. The socials. Let's get the socials. We gotta always think about the socials. I'm on the Twitters and the Instagrams. And I think that's it. ArtStation. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get some food, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some feet. Don't want to miss that one. Yeah, buddy. All right. Loves and hugs. I'm out. Peace.